and we're just going to jump right in. So Kortney, go ahead and tell us where you're from, how you found out about this business, just your story, which is so incredible, guys. Listen to this. It's going to blow your mind. So tell us a little bit about where you're from and all that good stuff before we start.
Awesome. Okay, so my story gets kind of long because I've been in this business for 5.5 years. So I'm gonna try to like give you the short version of it, not all the details. But I am from Oklahoma, Southern Oklahoma. I was going to school at Oklahoma State, finishing up my degree. I was planning my wedding, and I was working full time for a hospital. I was wanting to go into human resources to be an HR director for a hospital. So I was kind of doing patient service representative work and all that stuff for a hospital whenever I found this business. I wasn't in a spot that I really was interested in a business like this. And I followed Kortney on social media for over a year. I was not interested. I was like, there's no way this 19-year-old girl makes this much money. And back then, like, we had this thing where we posted like for 3 for 3, like this 3-3 rule. So she posted constantly, and she was I didn't follow that many people. So like she was always on my feed. And so I ended up unfollowing her. And then she ended up going, I think, on a following spree and followed me again. So I was like, she's cute, like whatever, I'll follow her back, because I kind of felt bad not following her back. So I gave it another shot. Well, it wasn't until Ryan, who's my husband, he was my fiance at the time, his dad passed away super suddenly at 42 from a brain aneurysm. His dad was 17 whenever they had Ryan. His mom was 15. And so his world just flipped upside down super quickly. So he had to move 2 hours further south to be with his family. His sister's 10 years younger than him. His brother was 6 years younger. So he moved back to help his mom with them. And it wasn't until I found myself needing an extra income that I was like, okay, like maybe I need to give this a look. Like maybe I just need to look at it. Because I was thinking, if I could make an extra $200, $300 a month, like that would compensate for the overtime I was working and the weekends and stuff that I was spending. I was working almost 7 days a week. And so I knew that really wasn't worth it. So I was like, if I could just free up my weekends, that would be awesome. So I ended up reaching out to Kortney, and I immediately signed on the spot. I had no experience, no clue what I was even doing, but I had watched her for over a year. So I knew how she posted. I knew about some of the products because I had really good results with the hair, skin, and nails. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start with the hair, skin, and nails because that's a product that I knew about. It immediately just took off for me. I was ignorance on fire. I was just so excited. And once I got a little bit of momentum those first couple of days, I was just like on fire. And so I ended up going diamond in my first 30 days. And I went double in my second month, triple in my third month, and presidential in my fourth month. And I said a brand new distributor all the way to presidential diamond in just 4 months. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like it was just a crazy time, but it was in the part of my business that I didn't really know anyone. I didn't have anybody to compare myself to. I just thought everyone kind of did that. I just didn't know it was not normal. And so I ended up paying cash for my wedding, and that was in October. So I joined in April, paid cash for my wedding in October. And then that December, when we went on the cruise, I found out I was a top 150 income earner already. So here we are, we're going into 2016, and on my 11-month mark right after conference in March of 2016, I went ambassador, reached the very top of the company, got my 2.0 spot, and then I kind of got into a spot where I was so tired kind of like from promoting so fast and doing all this stuff and building so quickly. I kind of got in my head, like, I don't want to do it that quick again. I want to take my time. I want to build strong, like had all these thoughts about, wondering if I did it right the first time because I promoted so quickly. I didn't have anybody that had fallen off yet. I didn't have anybody quit. And all of a sudden I had the triples quit. I had a double quit. I had people quitting, and I'm like, maybe I built wrong. Maybe I did it wrong. And so I was like, I'm going to do it different this time. So I kind of was all in my head for a little bit, but I went ambassador in March. And then April, I found out I was pregnant with Riker, who's my 3-year-old. And it wasn't until kind of this point in my life that I really figured out why I was a part of this business and why it had come into my life at the point it did. So in December of 2016, I had Riker. I ended up having him 4 weeks early due to severe preeclampsia. When Ryan got me to the emergency room, my blood pressure was like 187 over 126, and they didn't know how I wasn't seizing or how I wasn't stroking out. So I ended up having to have him in emergency C-section, and he got meta-flighted to the closest NICU, and Ryan had to go with him. And it wasn't until this moment, I remember just laying in the hospital bed. I just had Riker. I was still in the hospital on bed rest for the like 3 days later, and we got paid. I was literally, Ryan was with Riker in the NICU and I was at a different hospital. We were separated the first 11 days, and Ryan was able to be with him. Ryan was didn't have to worry about getting paid. We didn't have to worry about Ryan going to work. We didn't have to worry about, our bills being paid because I just got paid while laying in the hospital bed. And so it really wasn't until that very like moment that I was like, this is why God put this in my life, because of like what we're going through now. So everything's good. He's a healthy 3-year-old boy now. Everything's great. But then, just roll to around to 2019. And like I said, when you're in a business like this, you're going to have so much life happen. And this business has been there for me through every step of the way. But in 2019, I ended up having my daughter, Rylan, stillborn at 20 weeks in February. And then we ended up burying her on Valentine's Day. Ryan came in. My story gets really long, but Ryan came in super randomly. He got home from work early for some reason and found me passed out in a pool of blood and unconscious. My 2-year-old, 3-year-old now, he was 2 then, was there with me and had blood on him. Ryan found me, took me to the emergency room. I was hemorrhaging, and at the time they didn't know what happened, and I ended up having a placenta abruption. And so, but they didn't know how I was still anything. The baby was still fine. So they ended up transporting me up to the ICU in Oklahoma City, and I ended up having to deliver her in almost 20 weeks because of the placenta abruption. My water had broke, and they kept telling Ryan, we don't know how she's going to come out of this. We don't know if she's going to have neurological issues. And at one point, they didn't know if I was even going to survive it because I had lost so much blood. I wasn't coherent, couldn't remember anything. I don't even remember the first 3 days that I was in the ICU up until I was delivering Rylan. And it was just so crazy, during that time, I was still able, even though I wasn't capable of working my business that week, people on my team were still working. The residual income, and I was still going to get paid. And people didn't usually when you work corporate America, or you work 9 to 5, something like that happens here in a couple of months, they're going to expect me to go back to work, And so after that, we ended up burying her on Valentine's Day. So that we're going through all of this. Well, then a month later, I'm in a car accident. A semi pulls out in front of me around midnight and pulls out in front of me going the opposite direction, and I hit the trailer, and I crushed my ankle, and I had to have reconstructive ankle surgery. So then I was in bed from literally counting Rylan from February till September of last year. And I remember just kind of going through a whole kind of a mind space. It kind of just I wasn't depressed, but I was just why me? Why all these things happening at once? But one thing, you guys, I was always able to work my business. I was always able to work my business from my bed. I mean, I couldn't take cute pictures and get up and do anything, but I was always able to work my business. And then this past March, I went double diamond on my 2.0, and it's just been a journey. I mean, you're going to go through life with this business. You're going to think bad things are going to happen, just life. I mean, if you want this to be a lifelong business, you're going to go through life. But what I've learned about this business and my story and stuff is that, the first year of my business was a constant high. I had a lot of success, but it was what I did that first year of my business that has kept paying me over and over and over again. And so what you do now, you work your business now for the things that are going to happen so that you can take the time when things do happen to kind of recruit and gather and get stuff together, because your business will always be here. Sorry, my story gets really, really long, but I didn't want to have to get into too much detail about all the stuff.
No, you're good. That was perfect. So thank you for sharing all of that. I know that some of that's probably really hard to talk about, but thank you for sharing your story. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, just the stuff that we go through. I mean, if you've been in this business, I would say even for a year or more, we've been through stuff. Chelsea, I'm looking at her on the Zoom, she had a baby a couple months ago, Amber had a baby a couple months ago. And I know other people have gone through jobs and lost jobs and got new jobs and quit jobs and had relationships and all of these things. People got married. You go through life, whether good or bad. And for me, being able to experience it in this business has been one of the biggest blessings, because my story is not the same as yours, but I've had things happen, I've moved a lot of times, and through that I've been able to work my business, and I didn't have to worry about where I was going to get a job at my new city. Or I've had so many loved ones pass away, and my papaw, for one, he passed away very suddenly whenever we were at Green Carpet. And I was able, because of this business, to take off and just go fly wherever I needed to be with him right before he passed away. And that was a moment that I would never be able to have without this business. And it was a one-way plane ticket. I didn't have to ask anyone for permission before I said yes, because I didn't have a boss to answer to. And I didn't have to worry about when I was going to get home. I knew I could just be there as long as I needed to. And the stuff that Kortney's talking about that happened in her life and the things that have happened in all of our lives, like, this business is such a blessing. And so my biggest thing that I want you to take away from this is not that everything's going to be perfect, everything's going to be great. Once you hit ambassador, you actually don't have any problems and it's really great, life is perfect. No, like, you're still going to have issues, but the difference is the ones that decide ahead of time that quitting is not an option. So when Kortney could have thrown in the towel, she didn't. And sometimes she pumped the brakes, but she never got out of the car, right? Sometimes she said, I'm not going to be able to do this week, but she kept going, and that's why she ended up promoting to double 2.0. Like, that means that she did it for a second time. So this business is going to be something that sustains you with the residual income, but also the friendships. Like, whenever my papaw did pass away, the first people who messaged me and reached out to me were y'all. It was my team. It was my people. It wasn't the people from high school. It wasn't the best friends that I had from back home. It was you. And so this business has been such a big blessing. And so it's not that when those hard things happen, this needs to be the first thing you put on the back burner. I want you to go ahead and decide right now, be one of those people that says, hey, this business got me through that hard time. This business was the reason that I was able to come through that and not have to go into a ton of debt or not have to worry about how my kids are going to get taken care of and things like that. So that's just something that I wanted to throw out there, because I feel like a lot of times we are tempted to do that because we're like, what's one thing I can like throw away? It's this business, but really that could be the answer to so many things that you're struggling with either now or in the future, so that you didn't even know were going to happen, because she didn't join knowing all of this was going to happen, but I bet she was so thankful that she was in this business whenever it did happen. So you just never know. So hopefully that makes sense. So put a 2 in the chat if you're like, oh my gosh, like, her story, that's so inspiring, all the things she's gone through, how fast she promoted to ambassador, how she stuck with it through double diamond 2.0. And I love that. Like, so she's proof that you can promote super fast, and also proof that you're going to be successful if you just stick with it, no matter how long it takes you, whether it takes you 11 months to go ambassador or 4 years to go double diamond or whatever it was. You can be successful because she didn't quit. So that's super inspiring to me, and that's super relatable for, I think, all of us. So, okay. We talked a lot about going through the hard times in your business and overcoming that, but will you talk a little bit more about just some of the things that you did during those hard times, or ways that you kind of, like, I guess, managed your time, or ways that the mindset that you had to continue going when a lot of people would have said, you know what, like, this is just too much?
Yeah, I think, well, the first thing you have to decide, I mean, I want you guys to think about it today. Like, I mean, even if you haven't had a lot of things happen to you, I said, if you're going to be in this business for, your life business, things are going to happen. People are going to pass away. Relationships are going to end. Like, just things are going to happen, because that's what happens. It's life. So you have to decide right now, are you going to treat this business like a side business, like a side gig, like a hobby, or are you going to treat it like a business? Because I know from the very beginning, I was very lucky to have, success really quickly. And so I saw what this business could do for me. I saw the income that it could do for me. I saw literally how I could leave my full-time job, how I could, own my time and own my schedule. And so you have to decide, from the very, very beginning, I treated this business like a business. Even when I was working full-time and going to school full-time, I always made time for my business, because this is what I was having so much fun with. And so every single day I woke up treating it like a business. And so at the end of the day, when things started happening to me, it was right around the time, Rocker was born. And then of course life. And then last year and this year, just things have been crazy, but I always remember my why. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but regardless, I don't know how many of you are moms, but even though I lost Rylan, I was still in tune to things like knowing that I still have a child that needs me. I still have a child that needs me to be present. I want him to have all the things that I can provide for him. I want to save for his college. I want to be able to go on all the trips. I want to be able, I still have one that's present. And so I can't take away from him. And so that was kind of my motivation to keep working. And I think you have to find something, something, whatever it is, to motivate you every single day. And I know I mean, it may not be your kids. Maybe it could be traveling or spending more time with your spouse or, getting one-on-one time or whatever it is. Just find something that you'll wake up every morning feeling motivated. And I know every single day you're not going to feel motivated because I've been through a lot of things the last couple of years. And there was not every single morning that I woke up motivated. There was some days that I was like, I cannot talk to another person or I'm going to lose it. Or I cannot be told no one more time or I'm going to lose it. Like you wake up some days like and you think, I just can't today. But that's the days that you go through the motions until you feel like it. Because consistency is what is going to keep producing results. And so even those days that you don't feel like it, push through it. Even if it's just posting to your story, even if it's just adding a post. And I don't really like the term, fake it till you make it. But the sooner like you keep going through the motions, your brain is already telling you like, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to get out of this funk. I'm ready to make moves. Like I'm ready to do this. So the more you do it and you take action, the more you're going to be willing to do to, change like what you're going through and stuff. And I know I said, I've always been I've always been pretty headstrong, and I feel like I've always been a pretty strong person to get through things and stuff. But like she said a while ago, like this business has almost saved me. Like every single time I went through something that was life altering, this business saved me. And I think it's because I joined this business when my husband's father passed away. Me and Ryan have been together 13 years. So his dad was like my dad. I knew him when since I was 16 years old. And so I joined this business kind of from a lot of heartbreak. And so then when things started happening and stuff, like this was also my saving grace. I dug into something that made me happy. I dug into something that motivated me and pushed me. And I'm kind of an avoider, if we're going to be honest. Like I can talk all day long, but if it comes to talking about my feelings or my heartbreak or those kinds of things, serious conversations, I don't like those. I don't enjoy those. I don't like people feeling sorry for me. So I just put on a brave face and push through and go about my business. And so I literally you just have to find something that's going to motivate you to wake up every morning and work your business, even when those days are hard, even when you don't feel like doing it, because you're not always going to feel like it. And so I just think, I kind of left this part out of my story a while ago, but even after all that stuff with last year, in January, I had another miscarriage. In July, just 2 months ago, I had another miscarriage at 10 weeks, the day after we found out we were having another girl. And so, but instead of, a lot of time to mourn, and people deal with things very differently. But it was what I did to take action that I needed to work my business. I needed to focus on something besides what I was going through. So I set a power hour every single morning at 7 a.m. and opened it up to our team and Jade's team and Kortney's team just to hold me accountable to get my butt up every morning and work. Because I knew if people were waiting on me to get on this Zoom to do this power hour, then I was going to hold myself accountable to get up every morning. And something else I've done is I've been waking up every morning and at least doing my hair and makeup, changing clothes, just getting up and getting ready for the day. Because when you do that, it's like your brain telling you, I'm up, I'm ready to work. I'm up, I'm ready to do things. And I know, I don't know how you guys feel, but if I'm sitting around the house all day in my sweats and what I slept in the night before, I just want to lay around and watch TV. I do not get anything done productive. And so when I was going through that stuff in July, I kind of had to switch gears, and I'm like, okay, what can I do to keep me out of this funk? I was in a really dark place last year. I don't want to go there again. I fought my way out of that. So how can I push through without having to get back to that state? And so I woke up every morning at 5:45. I listened to self-development. I put on my makeup, get ready for the day, and then start a power at 7 a.m. and then get ready for my day. And literally the results that have come from that have been focused on enrolling distributors, training new people, and really just having fun. And I think whenever you're going through things, you just have to remember why you're doing it. And it sounds, like I said, it sounds so cliche kind of, but you just have to know why you're doing it and wake up every single day, even if it's just baby steps. If you do something for 30 days, it becomes a habit. So now my habit is waking up at 5:45, getting my hair and makeup done and getting ready for the day and doing a 7 a.m. power hour. So whatever it is, just change things, little things every day until it changes and works up to all the big things.
So good. I think it's really important too to remember that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, with they're like, okay, well, I either do every single thing every day or I do nothing ever. And like what she's saying is some days you're not going to be able to give it your normal 100%. And so some days she was just going to give it 100%, and she gave it 100% every day. But what you have to realize is that her 100% on a certain day might look different than the day before. So even though she's doing her best, whenever you go through the things that she's gone through in the last couple of months, your best is not going to look like her best in July does not look like her best right now. Does that make sense? Her best right now, her 100% is going to be a little bit more than her 100% in July where she was doing all that she could, but it might just be posting a story that morning. And that's all that she was able to physically do. And that's okay. So I think we have to get out of this headspace of it's all or nothing, or if I don't do everything, I'm going to be super down on myself and I'm going to be discouraged. I hate that word. I'm going to be super like, just whatever because you didn't get everything done every single day. But you have to realize that it's the compound effect. And I'm not saying give yourself excuses not to do something every day. I'm not saying just do the bare minimum. What I'm saying is that every single day you can do something, and that needs to be 100%. So on your good days, great, your 100% is going to look really freaking awesome. On your bad days, you're still doing something for your business because you know it matters. Because there are people who are waiting for the day that you don't post, and you think it doesn't matter, but then they went and joined with somebody else because you didn't post that day, and they want to know that you're consistent. And the people, so we're going to talk about signing distributors. This is going to be my segue into that. The biggest thing I want you to understand is that people don't want to sign with someone they can't trust. How do you gain people's trust? You show up. You be consistent. You show up when you don't feel like it. You show up with no makeup on. You show up with makeup on. You know what I mean? Like, you do all the things. You show up and you're there. Because people join me and they'll tell me, I watched multiple people for the last year and a half and you were the only one who posted every single day. Yeah, I did, because I committed that to myself a long time ago that I was going to be consistent. And because I am, I'm reaping the benefits. Now, am I perfect? Absolutely not. Kortney's not perfect. I'm not perfect. We all have our bad days. We all have our hard days. But the point is that I show up anyway. And I may not show up in the same way, but I show up anyway. And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to do, okay? So, the next thing we're going to talk about is distributors. So let's talk a little bit about how you market yourself on social media. So you're a mom, you're a wife, and you do all of those things. So what are the things that you like to post about? Because I feel like the number one question that we get with new distributors is, I don't know what to post, or I don't know how to talk about this business, or I don't know how to share my story, or I don't know what to tell people because I don't have a story. I haven't made any, money yet, or whatever. So how would you talk to somebody, or how do you market yourself in this business? How would you tell somebody that's brand new how to market themselves so that you can sign distributors, so that you can attract those people to your page?
So when it comes to social media, and I, even with my new distributors and stuff, and even just like people on my team, and they're talking about social media or needing some tips, and I'm like, what are the first 4 things like you want people to know when they come to your page? Like, these are the things that you need to be talking about. These are the things that you need to be focused on. So when people come to my page, they're instantly going to know that I'm a mom, that I'm a wife, that I'm a Christian, that I sell these products. Like, what are the top 5? You can do top 5 things that you want people to know about you. And so I feel like it's so important, to figure out what kind of, like, I say branding yourself, but kind of like what you're about when they come to your page. And so you have to be consistent with the products. Figure out your favorite products. Figure out what you like. But when it comes to your story and stuff, even if you just started and you don't have a story yet, you came from somewhere. You joined for a reason. You have some kind of story, whatever, even if you're 18, you have 18 more years worth of life that brought you to this moment. Even if you're 35, you've had 35 years of life that brought you to this moment. Talk about that, because people, when they're buying products or they are joining your team, whatever it is, they're ultimately buying into you. They're not necessarily buying into the product yet. They're not buying in because they haven't even tried the product yet, or they're not even buying into the opportunity yet. They're buying into you because they've watched you. They're watching how it's changing your life. They're seeing the impact and changes it's made in your life. So the first thing they're doing is buying into you because they trust you and they've watched you. So you have to, what I like about social media too is, even though sometimes it can be a highlight reel. You're the narrator of your own story. So you get to choose what that story looks like. And, you know, and I feel like too, we get so caught up sometimes in the highlight reel. And I feel like what's really helped lately, and like probably the past year and a half, is being real about what I've went through. Because I had a girl, I posted some about like my struggle, like what I've been through on my social media a few days ago. But it was because somebody wrote in my inbox and just said, "You're so lucky." And it's because some of the stuff, a lot of stuff I talk about, I don't openly talk all the time about having a miscarriage and having a stillborn daughter or all those things, because I kind of felt like I don't want people to feel sorry for me. But what I realized too is if people don't know your story, they can't relate to you. Like I got so many people, their feedback of all that, with people talking about their miscarriages, people talking about having stillborn children, people talking about their infants, you know, SIDS and all kinds of things. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't get real about what I was going through and stuff. So I think you have to get it out of your head about having the perfect Instagram or the perfect Facebook or this perfect life, and get real with people, because they want to see what your struggles are. They don't want to see that you're a perfect Barbie on Instagram. They want to see that, hey, yeah, she has these really cool pictures, but she goes through life too. You know, they're going to relate to you. And I feel like that's like had such an impact too, is just when I do show up, you should have to be your authentic self. Like, what story do you want to tell? And you have to be loud and proud about what you're doing and excited every single day. And people want to see your face. I feel like a lot of the distributors and stuff, getting on my stories, whether it's talking about the opportunity or whether it's just talking about my day or talking about something Riker did, whatever it is, people want to see you. And so I feel like the stories and stuff have such a big effect because they can hear your voice, they can see your face, they trust you. And I know I get so many more views, so many more like people watching my stuff when they see my face and see me talking, rather than just putting slide after slide after slide up. So it's like you're bringing this opportunity into your life and you're showing people how, you know, it impacted your life, your lifestyle, and how it's worked into your life. And so that's the story you need to tell. And your story is going to look different than mine. Your lifestyle, you might be a college kid. I wish I would have found this when I was 18 or 19 years old and first starting out college and all those things, you know, but now I'm a mom, now I'm a wife. And so like that story is going to look different, but just make sure you're telling your story every single day somehow. You know, like I said, you're going to feel really repetitive sometimes, but it just takes one person that didn't see your story before, that your story might come across their feed and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to join her. That's why you do it. That's why you're constantly repetitive, because it just takes one person that hasn't seen your story yet to see it and be intrigued by it or be inspired by it. So that's why you're posting every single day. That's why you are constantly telling your story and talking about your goals. If you're new, even if you don't talk about your story every single day, talk about your goals. Talk about what you're going for. Talk about what you hope is going to change your life. Talk about the mindset. Talk about, you know, because just like this business is really great for financial goals, it's also great for self-development. I'm a totally different person now than I was 5.5 years ago. I am honestly, I've always been, like I say, a good person, but I'm a better person. I'm more confident. I have a closer relationship with God. I'm a better wife. I'm a better mom. I know I'm a better just overall person thanks to this business and the people that I have surrounded myself with in this business. So talk about those things. Talk about the growth that happens, because at the end of the day, the positivity, the growth, the self-development, and yes, the finances are something everybody wants to be a part of. People want that self-growth. People want that self-development. They want to see something positive when everything in the country is, you know, crazy right now. They just want to have some kind of positivity. So it's kind of up to you to be that person that they can come to your feed and see something positive and upbeat and exciting. And so that's what I try to bring to my social media and my market and stuff, is just positivity, upbeat stuff. Like what you see is what you get. And also being vulnerable about what I've been through, what's going on in my life, and all of that stuff. Celebrate your wins, but also don't be afraid to tell your followers, like, hey, I'm going through, like, I kind of suck today, and this is what I'm going through, because they're going to see that you're a real person, and that life's not always perfect. Because I've found in this business, like, when you do the highlight reel and you aren't real and you aren't talking about things that you go through, people think that I can't live up to that. How can I live up to that? My life's not perfect. How do I live up to what she's posting about? I can't take perfect pictures. I don't have the perfect relationship. I don't have the perfect kids. I don't have the perfect, you know, they see this and they think I cannot do that. So you're kind of doing yourself and your followers a disservice if you're putting it out there like it's something that they can't obtain. because when you're real and you're raw and you're honest and you're vulnerable, they're like, man, I messed up too. Man, I have a crazy schedule. I have a crazy life. Me and Ryan argue sometimes. My kid drives me crazy occasionally. You just like have to be real about those things. And that's people are going to relate to. And that's going to be how you get people like interested in your business and wanting to join you. And that's like, they're going to know who they get whenever they join you.
And that's so true that like people want to see the real you, like, and it's not putting your dirty laundry out there. Okay. It's not like posting all of the crap that's going on. Like, this person did this person did that. Can you believe them? I struggled with this today, and I know there's somebody out there who's struggling with that too. So I just want to encourage you, like, you're not alone, like, and spinning it on a good thing. And so something that I've tried to think about, with what I could help people with is I struggle with anxiety and OCD. And so I talk about that, and I'm overcoming those things. And I talk about the daily struggles that I have with that. And people relate to that. Like, I literally had multiple people come to me this last week, and they're like, I saw your TikTok, or I saw your Instagram reel, which we're going to get to in just a second, but they're like, I saw this, I saw that. And then I looked at your profile and I saw that you said that you struggle with anxiety too. And I read a couple of your posts and they were so encouraging. So whether they join this business or not, I help somebody, but I also connected with them on a deeper level. So the odds of them joining this business are going to be way higher than if I was just posting about the business opportunity and not sharing about my life. And so what she said is so true. So the next thing that I wanted to ask you is, how do you find distributors to sign? And I know that you are really consistent on TikTok and doing your reels. So let's talk about that, because I am going to talk about this until I'm blue in the face, until all these fools go get a TikTok. And some of y'all might be like, well, we don't know if TikTok's going to go away. You're right. So you might as well ride the wave while it's here. Who cares if it goes away? Because it's not right now. And I'm signing people from TikTok, so you need to use it. So Kortney, where are you finding people? I kind of ruined your moment because I already told people where you find people, but tell us how you do it. Give us all the tips.
It's fine. I love TikTok, which is super surprising because some of you may be like me. And when TikTok first, like when it kind of started becoming something that we worked for our business and stuff, and I kept hearing about, some distributors, like top leaders and stuff, utilizing it and stuff, and I downloaded it. I was like kind of freaked out by it. I'm like, I cannot do this. I cannot be successful with this. I'm not very funny. And so it wasn't like something that I thought like I wanted to implement, because I honestly kind of felt dumb, kind of like, oh my God, I feel like an idiot and I'm going to look like an idiot, like posting this stuff. And so then I just like, you know what? I was like, I'm just going to do it. Like, it's fine. And I kind of like, I still to this day, there might be one I have to like hold my breath and like close my eyes and just hit submit, because I'm like, it'll be good. But I just, like I said, I have to get out of my bubble. It was something new. It was something different. And you have to be willing to evolve with this business. Instagram and Facebook are totally different now than they were when I first joined, but you have to change with the times. You have to go with what's working. And so with TikTok, I was like, okay, just going to do it. So then I just started being consistent with it, even though it was out of my comfort zone. I started just doing a few here and there. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be consistent with it. I'm going to take, just like I do with my Instagram, I might take 1 or 2 days and dress really cute and change outfits a few times to take some pictures. I was like, that's what I'm going to do with TikTok. I'm going to, those days that I get dressed up and look cute with my makeup and stuff, I'm going to, do several TikToks over and over. So I always have something to post. I'm going to be really, really consistent with it and just see what happens. And so when I started being consistent with it, it started blowing up. And like within like probably 3 months or so, the last few months, I have almost 50,000 followers. And it just because I was consistent. And the more consistent you are with TikTok and Reels, the more it's going to boot your content out. And so I was really consistent. And with what I do with TikTok is, you might have a different system, Morgan, because I know you're successful with it too, but I try to post at least twice a day. And then I post at the like most popular times for TikTok. And so if you just go in and you Google most popular times to post on TikTok, it's going to bring up the graph that shows you each day of the week and the 3 most popular times to post. And that's in Eastern time. So I usually just change it to Central time. And I noticed that when I post on those times, and maybe it's just because I've been consistent with those times and it knows when I'm going to post, but knowing that I've been consistent like on those times and stuff, I noticed that when I do it that way and I post at least 2 TikToks a day, I get a lot more views whenever I post twice a day at one of the 3 of those times. And so that's what I do. And I always, either refer to the application, which if you haven't filled out an influencer application or done that yet, I highly suggest it. I get tons of leads that way. I mean, I still think right now, I think I have 600 that I've still got to respond to. But I always have them either fill out the application or DM a certain word, just like an action, DM a certain word to my Instagram. And guys, what's cool about TikTok and Reels is you can literally save your TikToks and post them to your Reels. Like, they're literally so simple because you're doing work one time and you get 2 platforms. And Reels are pushing it out. Like, you want to take advantage of it now while it's still something new before everyone else is taking advantage of it, because it's going to be pushing your content out more because you're kind of like grandfathered in. And so I was the same way with Reels. I was like, okay, people on Instagram know me. Like, I have a lot more family and friends on there. I can't be like super silly. And again, I had to get over myself and be like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. So I still close my eyes and just like, okay, I'm just gonna send, and I close out of the app and then I go back and look at it later because it like freaks me out. But I get so much feedback from it, and I literally have people in my inbox constantly. My followers just from Reels have grown over 4,000 followers in the last month, just being consistent with it, because it's booting it out to so many different people. So that's what I've been doing the most. And I said with content and what you're posting and stuff, I do the same thing with Instagram that I do TikTok and Reels. It's like I make sure I post a business one every single day, but then I do like filler ones. Like I do funny ones, music, lip syncing, like phrases, like just voiceovers, because those are ones that get a lot of traction too. So even if they're coming to your page because of that, they're seeing all of your other videos. Like even on Instagram right now, I have 95 unread messages. Like in my filtered requests box. Like I haven't had that on Instagram ever probably. And so you have to take advantage of those things, and just like I said, bring people into you. You can still be yourself and be funny. I just feel like the Reels and TikToks kind of show a different side of you than what just your posts and stuff are, and they can kind of see your personality. I mean, I've gotten a lot of people just in my inbox like saying, hey girl, like I want to know what you're doing because you look like you're having so much fun. And I'm like, they just see like a different side than just your regular posts and your like words you typed out. They can see your personality. They can see you having fun. I just like to dance. I literally just dance on most of them, point to different words about my business. Literally, you can find ideas from all of our stuff. I mean, you can literally use our audios and stuff too. It's so easy, but it's just something you have to be consistent with, and you have to get out of your comfort zone with. And I said, even though, like I said, I'm way behind on applications, I still have, even though like I feel like I'm constantly responding to them, I still want people constantly feeling them out because I never run out of people to talk to. So it's like the more people you talk to, the more people you're going to sign up. Like last month, I signed up 35 distributors, but it's a numbers game, you guys. It's a numbers game. Don't have like 50 people, like 50 applications filled out and think you're going to sign 40. No, like, you know how many people I talked to last month? I probably had 500. I probably responded to 500 applications, if not more, and I signed 35. But I wouldn't have signed those 35 without all those applications being filled out or people responding to my Instagram Reels. And you might see, like, I think with Instagram Reels and TikTok too, I haven't felt the need to like constantly blow up my stories all day, even though I still do that. I've been so busy responding to applications and responding on Instagram and stuff that I haven't had to just fill it up, with all that stuff. It's like I'm still working. I'm working harder than I've worked in months, but that's just because they're different platforms and it's getting booted out to so many different people. Like imagine what Instagram would have been like when it first came out and you were one of the very first people to have an Instagram. Like you have to take advantage of that right now because it's so new. And it's just fun. I promise you guys, like I have a new passion almost for my business because I love creating the TikToks. I love creating the Reels. And I love just like sending it out there and people seeing a different side of me. And I promise once you do it, you're going to have so much fun with it.
And the other thing about TikTok too is that people who are on TikTok as a younger generation, like even younger than me, and I'm 26, they're like 18, 19, and they already can grasp the concept of owning their own business and being an influencer. Like that's what they've grown up with. Like they've seen that. They've seen the bloggers. They've seen people travel and make money. They've seen people do it from their phones, and that's the lifestyle that they want to live. Like most of them don't have the I want to go to college, I want to get a degree type of lifestyle. They want to go travel and they want to go own their own business. And so I feel like for me, it's different when I talk to somebody on TikTok versus Facebook or Instagram. I don't have to convince the TikTok people of anything. They already get it. And so that's why I feel like it's so much easier. And I do sign people from TikTok on the spot. I do sign them the very next week. And people from Instagram and Facebook, they watch you for a year, for 2 years, and like, that's so normal, for them to not come to you for a long time, or for them to wait forever and ghost you for a long time. But I feel like the TikTok people is just a different group. And so that's why I love TikTok. And the other thing too is that when I'm on TikTok, I refer them back to my Instagram. So there is people that message me still who are like, hey, I'm interested in what you do. I've been following you for like 3 months. I found you on TikTok. Now I want to know more about your business. So they weren't going to be one of the ones who texted me TikTok. So I never say text me TikTok anymore. And then I also don't even tell them necessarily to fill out the influencer application, or I'll say fill out the application or message me money on TikTok, or message me message me money on Instagram, or message me TikTok on Instagram. And so when they do that, they're at least going to follow me, whether they message me or not in that moment. And if they do message me, then that's great. We talk about it. And if they say no, they're still watching me. If they go to my Instagram and they don't message me right away, they're still watching me. And so I think the biggest thing is realizing that people are going to watch you. And that's why the consistency is important, the branding yourself, this talking about your life and your story. Those are the people that come back and they're like, oh my gosh, like, I want to do what you do because you're so relatable. I feel like we're the same person. And so there have been people who texted me today, and she talked about like the consistency, or like, you're going to feel repetitive about sharing your story. I post my coffee every single morning. That feels really repetitive to me, but I had somebody message me this morning and they were like, okay, fine, sign me up. You finally got me interested. Like, or like, you finally, sealed the, or whatever. Like, I want to do this, and it's taken me this long, but I've watched you for a long time. So you have people who are watching you from that. So when you do a reel or you do a TikTok, then you're sealing the deal with them. You are showing a different side of you. And you can literally take a TikTok from any top leader and just recreate it. I'm not that creative, so that's pretty much all that I do. I have made a couple on my own, and they were like my favorites, but I don't really think about every TikTok that I make. I look at other people's and I take their sound and I just recreate it in my own way. And people will tell me like, oh my gosh, like, you look like you're so happy. That's what people always tell me. They're like, you look like you love your life. And I want that. And so whether you love your life or not, get on there and act excited and talk about where your life is going to be in the next year if you're consistent with this business. So somebody was asking about reels. So if you go on Instagram and you go to your story, like, you just swipe over to do a story, on there it says live, story, and then reels. And if you click reels, you can literally download it from your camera album or your photo album. And that's what I do, because I post them on TikTok, save them to my camera album, I save them in an album, whatever, and then I upload them on my reel, and then I just repost it. And you can either do it to your timeline or not, and I usually do not put it on my timeline, but every now and then I will, but I'll do a really cute cover photo with it. So there's another Zoom that we did last night on signing distributors with Rachel Jones, where I talked a lot about this, and talked about the reels. So if you want that recording, let me know. I can try to find it and post it in the team page, because I'm not going to go super into reels, but that is so important. If you're not using those, if you're not using those and you're not willing to step out of your comfort zone, please don't come to me and say, hey, I can't sign DTs. Because I'm going to be 100% honest with you, you're not doing all the things that it takes to sign distributors. Because if you ask any top leader right now, how are you signing the majority of your distributors? It's from TikTok. It's from the reels. So if you want to be successful with this business, you've got to get out of your comfort zone and try the new things. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm just saying, don't say, hey, I'm not signing any distributors. I haven't completed my steps of success in 5 months. Well, my question to you is, how many TikToks have you done in the last month? How many TikToks did you do in the last week? Because if you're not doing them, then you have no room to say that you're doing all the things that it takes to be successful and get the distributors when you're not. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds super red, But I want to be honest with you, because it's the people who aren't doing TikToks and Reels who always message me every day. They're like, I can't sign DTs. I'm like, bro, you're not doing enough. So make sure that you're doing all of the things. And Kortney even said, like, I wasn't doing them. And then I started doing them. And shocker, she got results. Weird. You know, and she's talking about her Instagram followers growing. So many of y'all who don't do TikToks ask me, how do you grow your Instagram following? I'm like, I already told you, go do TikToks. And so you're asking for you're asking for an easy way out, right? If you're like, well, I haven't done TikToks, but like, really, how do you sign distributors? You put in the work. There is no shortcut. You do the work, you do the TikToks, you get out of your comfort zone, and you do the things that it takes to be successful, and you do what successful people are doing, because success leaves clues. And so my Instagram following grew like 400 in the last weekend because I had a filler post blow up where I literally took a post that someone else made and voice overed it. And it was talking about like, you know, like my husband or whatever. And I had like the weird filter on myself about the chicken nuggets. Like, I did that video and it has like 200,000 views on Instagram, and I've gotten 400 followers since like Friday, I think, on Instagram. So then whenever I post my coffee tomorrow, guess who's seeing that? 400 brand new people. They're going to see that. They're going to see my story. They're going to see my journey, and they're going to follow me. So, okay, let's see. So I kind of just like, oh, wait, what did you say?
Okay, can I give like one little tip? It might be just like a little hack for you guys. So if you do TikTok, this is for people that do TikTok and are going to post to your reels. But something cool, so when you go to TikTok and you do your video, so sometimes like whenever you post them to your reel, you'll have like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but you'll have like the big TikTok, oh crap, maybe, hang on. Like up here, it says like the TikTok emblem and it's huge and it says TikTok on it. If you go and whenever you save it, if you you save it from TikTok, if you hit the 3 lines, the dots, and you hit live video, it's going to save it, or live photo, it'll save it as a live photo. And then you go into your photos and you hit the same thing and you put save as video, it takes that off. So whenever you post it, it doesn't have the big TikTok emblem on top of your thing whenever you post it to your reels. But then also, if something ever happens on TikTok and you need to edit it and like repost it or something, you can delete it, but save it as a live photo and then as a video, and it's going to it'll take that emblem thing like off the top of the video. I can go through that slowly if you.
Okay. Yeah. So wait, hang on. So you go to a video, you click the 3 dots, you click save video.
So hit live. So are you on TikTok?
Yes.
Okay, hit live, like you're gonna save the video, but scroll over and hit live photo.
Oh.
And so
okay.
then go to after you do that, go to your photo album.
Got it.
Click on that, and then hit the little like you're gonna send it as a message. Click on that, and then go down and hit save as video. And then when it uploads, it takes the TikTok thing off of it.
How did you know that?
Kristen actually taught me. We were doing it. She was like, hey, I'm going to show you how to do it.
Okay.
And so I was like, yes. And so that's what me and Kristen have been doing to get the TikTok thing off of it. And so and also too, it works really well if you need to if you accidentally mess up on TikTok and you need to redo it, you'll upload it to TikTok, but you do have to go to the original sound and then upload it from your deal. So it has the voiceover and it's not copyright. But when you go to Instagram, it just takes that big TikTok thing off of there and it makes it look a lot cleaner.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool. Okay, so I got it. If y'all were like, wait, what the heck?
I know, it's like, if you get it, you can explain it.
Yeah, I'll do a screen recording. Somebody said, does the emblem affect Instagram's algorithm? I don't think so, but it just looks cleaner.
Yeah, I don't think it does. It really does. It just bothered me because it was just so big and it didn't look as clean. And so I'd rather not be. So I just did it and it looks a lot cleaner when it's the video's playing and all that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Okay, so one last little tip. I know I kind of shared my little red. I don't think you're quite as red as I am. So I was like, get over yourselves and freaking do TikToks. But for real, what would you say to somebody who is nervous to do TikToks? And I don't know about you, but I was somebody who 100%, when people were talking about TikTok, I was like, yeah, right. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt that way, whether now or ever have felt like, okay, all these people are talking about TikTok, but yeah, right. I can go through without it. I'm good. I don't really need to do TikTok. I don't really need to do reels, whatever. Here's the thing, guys. I am one of those people who, if I see a lot of people going this way, I'm going to be the person who goes that way. And I don't know why I do that, but I'm like, I'm going to do something different than what everybody else is doing. But here's the problem with that is that if everybody's going that way, it's probably because there's food, like, and I'm going over here and I'm like, I'm going to go find food over here. Like, no, you're not. That's why everybody's going this way. That's a very obvious path that you should be going down if everyone's doing the same. I'm not talking about peer pressure, but I'm saying whenever people are doing this and they're talking about the success that they're having, there's a reason that they're talking about it. There's a reason why there's trainings on it. So if you haven't been doing it and you're not seeing results, maybe this is your answer. So I'm all but like begging you to do TikToks. And if you don't do TikToks, please don't come to me and say, I just can't find distributors. Because my first question to you is going to be, what self-development are you doing? And are you making TikToks? Okay? Because I know that that's where I'm finding the success. So if you want to have success, do what they're doing. The other thing is be consistent with it. It's not going to be overnight, and it's not going to be the first application that you get. It's not going to be the first video that you do. It's not going to be the first sound that you make. It's not going to be quick. It's not going to be overnight success, and maybe it will be. That's great. But I want you to be consistent enough to see it through to the end and not just give up after you've made 3 videos and say, well, TikTok doesn't work. Because I was super skeptical about it, and I even hated it at first. I did it because I was like, well, I need to be a good leader. I'm just going to do it because they said to do it. Like, I need to set a good example, right? But then I started doing it consistently, and I started mass enrolling. I was the top distributor enroller in the company a couple of weeks. Kortney was too. Like, they've been shouting us out. Where are we finding these people? From TikTok. Okay. So somebody asked about the influencer application really quick before I let Kortney close this out. Application process. If you search in our team page, the application or the influencer application, you're going to be able to see how to do that. It's super simple. It's on Google Docs. Okay. So go ahead, Kortney, take it away. What would you say to somebody who is nervous to do TikToks? Like, what is one last bit of encouragement that you would give them if we haven't encouraged them enough, or like if they're not seeing the success yet, how to keep going and push through that? Or what are some tips that you have to get them to really see that success?
Like I said before, I did not want to do TikToks. I felt dumb. I felt like this was not for me. Like, I just kind of made me kind of feel dumb. Like, what is this? But I had to get out of my comfort zone, and I knew this is something different. And I've had the months where I've signed 30 plus distributors, and I had so many times of quick success and making lots of money and all these things. And I've always consistently made great checks and done Instagram. And I'm like, when I find I don't like change at all. Like, if I don't like getting out of my comfort zone, but I sometimes need that push to get out of my comfort zone. And so I just, like I said, I just did it. You have to just take those steps and do it. I am maybe not as red as Morgan, but I am really red. Like, if you know Kristen, like, our personalities are so different. I'm very red and she's very yellow. But my biggest thing, I think, and it's going to sound really red to you guys, but I'm going to say probably like Pam Souter, just get over yourself. Like, who are you to decide that your TikToks are dumb? Or who are you to decide that your TikToks aren't going to influence anybody, or that no one's going to watch them, or no one's going to like them, or no one's going to follow you, or no one's going to fill it out? Like, there you go. You're already deciding for people that they're not going to be interested. They're not going to follow you. They're not going to like it. Like, you do the same thing like we tell you not to do on Instagram. Don't assume people aren't going to buy from you. Like, always assume the sale. So every time you do a TikTok, just assume it's going to blow up. Just assume everyone's going to love it. And you're going to get into that routine. Like, I love it now. And it's almost kind of been like it's been a journey, but honestly, I feel like you can be so real on TikTok and so just yourself on TikTok that it's kind of a healing mechanism too. Like I said, it's almost like therapeutic, because you can tell your story. You can talk about things. You can basically kind of like just talk about your life and stuff more so than you do really on Instagram probably. But it's just so fun. And I promise you guys, you're going to you're going to feel rejuvenated. You're going to start having fun with your business, because you're going to be having the most fun in your business when you're signing people up, when you're training new distributors, when your charts are growing. But guess what? You're not going to do that if you're not signing up distributors. And I kind of went through a deal. Like, I've usually, like, for the past year and a half, I consistently signed 7 to 10 distributors a month. But then I just got this clicked, and I'm like, I can sign 30 plus distributors a month. Like I did it for a year and a half before. Like, why can't I? Who am I to decide that I can't train 35 distributors? And so I had a goal last month to sign 35 distributors. And I was consistent with TikTok every single day just to get those 35 distributors. But you have to set a goal. You have to be excited about it. Stop assuming people aren't going to like it. People are going to make fun of you. People aren't going to follow you. Like, who cares? At the end of the day, even if people don't like it, they're not paying your bills. Like, you're going to find this is a new platform, you guys. Like, there's so many people on TikTok that don't even have Instagram. Like, I have so many people that reach out to me because of TikTok that they don't even have Instagram, but they create an Instagram because they want to run the business. But think about all the people that you're going to find on TikTok that aren't on Instagram. It's just like when you find people when you're blitzing somebody in person and they don't have social media. Like, there's just all different platforms. So you have to take advantage of it, get over yourself, and just literally, I promise you, I want you guys to take 7 days. 7 days from today, 7 days of posting one TikTok every single day. Challenge yourself to do that, and it's going to become a habit, and you're going to start having fun with it, especially if you start seeing results from people filling out the application or reaching out to you or getting followers, because that's a momentum thing. So you have to be doing something to get the momentum rather than just sitting there and saying, oh, they're getting all these distributors, but I'm not willing to do that. Like, that's just dumb. You got to do it, and you have to follow, like, success leaves clues. So you have to at least try it out, be consistent with it, and I promise you are going to love it. But the biggest thing is just get over yourself and just do it.
Yes, you're never going to wake up one day and be like, okay, now I'm ready to make a TikTok. Like, you're just going to have to do it, and the feeling's going to follow. So we had 5 people already in the chat. Chloe, Emily, Chesney, Carly, and Jordan say that they're going to take on the challenge. I want to know who else is going to.
I'm about to go follow y'all to watch. Make sure you're posting every single day for 7 days.
Yes, I'm writing these names down.
And then it said accepted. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch.
Kortney's going to be following all y'all on TikTok, so you better make it work. Okay, so let's do it, guys. No excuses. And the biggest thing, too, one last little tip, do like what she said, get dressed one day, make a bunch of TikToks, and post them throughout the week. Change your clothes. Make it easy on yourself. Work smarter, not harder. I do not post TikToks the day that I make them. Okay, I don't get ready every single day, and I don't make TikToks every day. There's no way I can do that, and I know there's no way you can do that. That's not what we're asking of you. We're just saying take a couple of minutes or a couple of hours one day that you have a little bit more free time. Make this work for you. So I'm so excited. Y'all can do this. Thank you, Kortney, for hopping on.